On this episode of Left Off the Map, we're going to start and finish the episode at Talia Haven, a stone cottage accommodation on the east coast of Tasmania. In between, a very good friend of mine, Linton Tapp, is going to show us around King Island with local guest Stuart McSwain. After Linton and Stuart are done, I'm going to cook Coqauvin, or chicken in wine, on the outdoor fireplace at Talia Haven. There are very few places left on planet Earth that take, well actually that's a lie. There are probably 5 places left on planet Earth that absolutely take my breath away that I've travelled to, and this is one of them, and it's in my home state. I'm at Talia Haven, which I think is one of the coolest accommodation places on planet Earth. And I've been lucky enough to travel a lot all over to all the food meccas and icons. This is pretty special. Tonight for dinner, I'm going to make the crew a potato bake. Potato bake, homely food, fits this old stone kitchen perfectly, I think. So first, I've got my potatoes in here. They've just gone in, so they're going to take about 15 minutes. I'm going to strain them, allow them to cool a little bit, and just roughly chop them. I want some speck. I'm gonna... I'll take the skin off. Just because with speck, the skin sometimes can be a little rubbery. So I'm just going to take that off. And then I want to cut this into lardons. So you've got, the good thing is it's going to add some texture to the dish, not only give us some flavour, but a good amount of texture as well. All right, so about half of this speck, which is about 150 grams. And then chop into little battens. I'm going to use the fat that renders out of that. I'm going to get it nice and crispy. So we've got the texture. I'm also going to use the fat that we render out of the speck to sort of cook everything else in. So I don't need to add any oil to my pan. Speck straight into a cold pan. Some garlic. I've got 3 cloves of garlic here. Roughly chopped. That in. Turn my pan on. And I'm just going to cook that away until we render some of the fat out, until the lardons start to get nice and crispy. And then I'll pop in some white wine, about a cup of white wine, and reduce that down. So 250 mils of white wine reduced down to about 125, so by half. And some creme fraiche. I'll put some fresh herbs in there, so some fresh thyme leaves and some fresh spring onion. And then we'll bring our potatoes and our bacon sauce together. I've added my thyme, my spring onions to my wine and reduced that down by about half. Now I need some creme fraiche, a full tub, about 200 to 250 mils of creme fraiche. I'm going to mix that in, and then that sauce is going to go in on top of my potatoes, which we've cooked, strained, and then roughly chopped. And they should still be just warm, which is good. So it means they'll be nice and starchy still on the outside. So the starch on the outside of the potato is going to help thicken our sauce. So as soon as this creme fraiche is dissolved in and we've got some temperature, so we're back up to boiling in this pan, and that will go straight into there, mix everything together. And then it's going to go into a roasting tray. And I've got some pancetta, which will just fold on top of that, and then a full wheel of brie or camembert, whichever is your favourite. And you're going to tear lumps of that and dot all around so it melts in amongst the potato. I just remembered before I'm going to put all this together, I remembered I've got one little baby truffle that we brought along to the East Coast with us, so I'm going to use that as well. So thinly slice that. I'm going to pop that in to infuse into my sauce. And now it can go in with my potatoes. So we'll give all this a mix. Just want to let it sit for a little bit, a couple of minutes, just for that starch to help thicken, and then we'll put it into our roasting tray.
In 2013, Linton was runner-up on a popular reality TV cooking show, and ever since has been busy releasing cookbooks, hosting TV shows, and becoming a respected advocate for Aussie farmers. Linton will catch up with local legend Stuart McSwain, a world-famous long-distance runner who grew up on King Island. Along with all of this, Linton and Stuart will also play some rounds of golf, do a cheese tasting at King Island Dairy, and explore Curry, the largest township on the island.
The only way to get to King Island is via air, and Sharp Airlines runs from Burnie, Launceston and Melbourne and gets you to this hidden paradise in under 45 minutes. Getting the car from King Island Car Rental was an absolute breeze. Walk in and out of the airport, and I'm on my way to pick up a local legend, Stuart McSwain, who's a famous long-distance runner. He holds international and national records for the 1,500 metres, 3,000, 5,000 and 10,000 metres respectively. He's the only Tasmanian to win the Burnie 10, and recently he was named Young King Islander of the Year. So I'm off to meet him to grab a coffee and something to eat at his local hotspot, Bishop's Cafe, to talk about the day that we have in store on King Island and what he's going to show me of this amazing place. Stuart.
Hello. Welcome to King Island.
It's great to be here, mate. I have, in the short 10-minute drive here, already fallen in love with the place. Beautiful blue seas, green pastures, cattle everywhere. It's almost like my hometown, a bit greener though.
Yeah, I think, it's a very special place. Obviously growing up here, I don't think there's many better places in Australia. So yeah, I'm excited to show you what we have to offer.
What do we got on the cards today?
So we'll start the morning, we'll be playing golf up at Cape Wickham Golf Course. So obviously, I've heard you're a great golfer. I'm not good either, so we'll have a quick lesson up there. And yeah, it's obviously a pretty amazing course, so that'll be a good start to the day. I think golf's obviously bringing a lot more people here, so it's kind of, King Island's been underrated how good it is in the past, so it's exciting that tourism, started to be bolstered by the golf course.
We're sort of giving away one of your best kept secrets.
Yeah, exactly. I know trying to tell people about King Island, they can't believe it when you tell them what's there to offer, so it's exciting that we're going to be able to share that with the rest of Australia.
And then from the golf, what are we doing after that?
Yeah, so from the golf, we'll head to the King Island Dairy, which is obviously pretty well known across Australia and the world. So we'll do a bit of cheese tasting there, which will be pretty fun.
That's something I'm pretty good at, as you can tell. I've definitely had my fair share of cheese, and the King Island Dairy, like, that is world famous. Like, you must see that even while you're travelling overseas.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you're travelling across the world, I'll be in supermarkets, whether it's in countries like Norway or wherever, I'll check the dairy section, you'll see King Island cheese, which is pretty special to see some come all the way from a small island doing so well globally. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Once we finish that King Island cheese, we have something special, don't we?
Yeah, so we'll be heading for the night at Porky's beach retreat. Pretty special views there, so yeah, I'm excited to show you that, especially if we get some good weather at night. It'll be pretty
Be
amazing
spectacular.
place. Yeah, exactly.
Watch the sun go down, enjoy some lovely food. So excited about what King Island has to offer. The first 10 minutes has been amazing. This cafe, Bishop's Cafe, it looks like I assume this is your local, right?
Yeah, so I actually live 10 minutes up the road. So yeah, I've come here a fair few times, and yeah, the food is unbelievable. So yeah, I'm excited to not only share the food, but share King Island. It's pretty exciting to be able to come back and show Australia what King Island has to offer.
Stuart, this golf course, I think King Island is one of its most known features. There's a lot of tourism generated through golf, but Cape Wickham Links Golf Course is probably the premier one on the island.
Yeah, obviously it's a world-class facility. I think you see in some of the rankings, it's one of the best ones across the world. So yeah, to have that on a place like King Island is pretty special, and it's obviously great for tourists. You hear a lot of talk about it. People love coming down, and I think experiencing it will be pretty huge.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. But I'll tell you what, I can guarantee it's going to be me, but I'll make this bet anyway. Whoever loses golf today pays for lunch.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Here at Talia Haven, we've got this awesome little charcoal fire pit set up. I'm gonna do chicken in wine. Do you guys want white wine or red wine? Red. The crew want red wine, so I'm gonna do chicken in red wine. First thing, I've got this whole chicken, and I wanna use it for two different things. I'm gonna use the Marylands for this chicken oven roasted dish, and then I'm gonna use the breast later for a different dish. So, I'll show you how to break down a chicken. Out of a bag. The first thing you should always notice about a good quality chicken when you take it out of the bag is that it's nice and dry. It doesn't have that absorbent mat underneath. So, to take off my Marylands, I'm going to pull the leg and just expose this little bit of skin here, which I just want to nick, and that'll open up basically that whole joint for me. And if I pull, I'll feel that pop, and just there, the knuckle comes out. That's what I want to happen. Then if I turn it over, I get this little line where I can cut, so I can go down around the oyster and up the other side. All right, rest of the dish. I need to grab out my pan. So I've just got this nice large size roasting pan, which I can sit directly on my bricks over my charcoal. Pop in there some butter. I want about 25 grams of butter. Pop that in. That'll start to melt. I'm just going to put a little drizzle of oil in with that. Then all of my ingredients, well, not all of my ingredients, a big component of my ingredients are now going to go in. I'll just clear up a plate. I've got some little kalettes, which I'm going to pop in at the end so I can get this chicken crown on there and away for our other dish. Then mushrooms, I just want to chop in half. They're a decent size. If there are some smaller ones, like these ones, keep them as they are. I've got some speck, which I'll just chop into lardons. The slices and then into little battens. The speck can go in with my butter. My mushrooms can go in. That all mix around. Onion, top and tail my onion. Don't mind if those skins go into the fire. Onion skins make for an awesome smell and flavour. Just thinly slice these. Onion in. Four-star anise. Add a cinnamon quill that I decided I'm not going to use. 5 sprigs of thyme, pop them in. Then my chicken, skin side down, just move it around so you find some of the bare pan. Skin side down for my chicken. I'm just going to let that sit now and do its thing for a good half an hour, 35 minutes. Halfway I'll come over and I'll turn my chicken. I'll give everything a nice little toss and give it another 20 minutes on the other side, I reckon. So I just want to taste this now. Whoa, that has so much flavour. Everything's reduced down. It's slightly acidic, which I was worried that it might be with all the tomatoes in there, the red wine, and the vinegar that was in that little tomato chili con carne pouch. Just want to add a little bit of honey just to counteract that sourness. So just stir that honey in, and then it'll be good to go. So I'm going to serve it. I've got this baby kale or kalettes. I'm just going to pull some of the outer leaves off and then pop that on the top when I serve it. And the heat from the pan will slowly wilt those kale leaves on top. Stir, make sure that honey is dissolved in. And that can come off. And I'll add those kale leaves. That's been on there for about half an hour. I added, just because I had a tiny little bit of white wine left, it was getting a little bit hot, so I just added a little bit of white wine just to deglaze that pan. Did a recipe earlier, which was a whole lot of roasted tomatoes, onions and garlic, and then I collected this sort of tomato stock at the bottom,
And then you've got all the leftover roasty goodness bits. I'm gonna pop them in. So I'll pop them into our pan. I don't want to waste them, but that can go in and become part of the base of this sauce. Now in with that, I'm gonna pop my other tomato base, which is just an intense chili tomato base. Again, that's gonna add a real depth of flavor to this dish. I'll pop that in as well. And then once I've stirred that in, I'll add in about a cup of my red wine. And then I want to reduce that sauce by about half and let it simmer away for another half an hour to 45 minutes.